In the morning when I'm driving, I really come alive when I listen to my Ronnie, I listen to my RonyiQ. They are rare and they are few who can compare with RonyiQ. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for RonyiQ. They are rare and they are few who can compare with RonyiQ. So grab a chair, she's coming through. She's on the air, it's time for RonyiQ. RonyiQ. It's time for RonyiQ. RonyiQ. It's time for RonyiQ. In the morning while I'm driving, Ronnie, I really come alive when.
Oh, come on, fellas. You're not gonna let a guy like me in. Come on, fellas. Y'all not gonna let Mitch McConnell into the pearly gates of heaven. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. I hope you guys all had a fabulous weekend. I know I did. Let's get into the morning news. Now, everybody is finally catching on to the point that Mitch McConnell may or may not be dead. And if he is not dead, they're figuring out he's the greater part of more than half dead at this point. So, but Elaine Chao, his wife, she's somewhere over parlaying it in China. So they don't know who's going to pull the plug on him. They don't know how this all is going to be worked out. So there's that is going on with Mitch McConnell. They think that they are trying to prop Mitch McConnell up until this date of August. It's either August 1st or August 3rd, where if he remains, if they can stuff him up like the character in Weekends at Bernie's, then they will not be able to fill his seat. The governor, who is a Democrat, will not be able to fill his seat with someone. So, we remember there was also a Texas Democrat who was missing in action, and she was in a whole Alzheimer's memory care nursing home for 6 or 7 months, and they left her office up and running with staff and all of that. So at what point do your elected officials have to show up for their jobs and have to show up for votes and have to be cognitive to be able to do their jobs before they're replaced is something that I'm curious about. It seems like as long as they can hide it from the public, if they could hide it for years, it seems like that's how long they will continue to get paid their salaries and be able to miss votes. So now all of a sudden you have liars like Scott Jennings and other Republicans. Miraculously, all of these people have had conversations with him, have come on camera within minutes of each other and said that they just got off the phone with Mitch McConnell, which means that they were all talking to Mitch McConnell at the same time. Well, I just hung up the phone with him 5 minutes ago. 5 motherfuckers just hung up the phone with him 5 minutes ago. Was it a conference call? Mitch McConnell's up here doing conference call. Oh, okay. So that's what's going on. But if you watch my show, we talked about this. I think it was Monday last week. What was going on with Mitch McConnell? So there's that. So Marjorie Taylor Greene said that uh, Mitch McConnell's wife, I think her name is Elaine Chao. She was in Trump's first cabinet. Uh, Marjorie Taylor Greene said that the reason why Elaine Chao is over there in China because she's a Chinese spy. Like, what, Marjorie? Marjorie, what? Marjorie, say it ain't so. Marjorie said she ain't got time to be bothered with old Mitch because Mitch can't do shit for her. You know, Elaine Chao owns a lot of uh, businesses in China as well. Elaine Chao and her, I believe it's her father. I believe her father is still alive. I think she's that much younger than Mitch that her father is still alive. Her father's probably Mitch's age. They own a lot of businesses in China. Yeah, yeah. So there's that. So how are you guys doing? I hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. You guys know we are back at war. Of course you knew we were back at war. You guys know that we only stopped this alleged memorandum of understanding was a whole bunch of bullshit. You can smell the fear in this room. Must be all the Democrat pussies in here. No, it must be your pussy. It must be your fearful pussy. It must be your pussy. What would the Democrats be afraid of? What would the Democrats be afraid that your stupid Republican president is about to start World War III? Would that be the fear that the Democrats have? That your president is about to start a nuclear war? Huh? Because he's so ignorant? Would that be what the Democrats have to fear? That we have a numbskull running around with the nuclear codes? Would that be the fear that we would have to have? That somebody would be putting the nuclear codes in and fall asleep in between the numbers being given to him because he's so incompetent? Would that be the fears that the Democrats would have? Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Hit the like button on your way out. Have a good day. Okay, so let's see what else we're going to talk about. We're back at full on war now. If you have been over here with me, we talked about how our military is going to be combined with the Israeli military. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it interesting how it had been decided by your president that our military was going to be sharing all of its capabilities and information with the Israeli military? Isn't that interesting? Who does that and why would anybody do that? Why would we be combining our military capabilities with Israel? Now it seems like there's a little hiccup. Now it seems like Benjamin Netanyahu has the total and complete audacity to come out with a frown on his face as if he's mad at the United States for some incompetent decision once again that your president has made. Your president has went over to NATO and has said that he will be selling what's it F1 F I think it's these stealth fighter jets to Erdogan, and that has Benjamin in Turkey. So Benjamin Netanyahu is mad about it because Benjamin Netanyahu has his sights on attacking Turkey. I'm gonna attack every country in this region. So Turkey was Benjamin Netanyahu's next attack site. So Benjamin Netanyahu was like, "How dare you? How dare you? You were supposed to be fighting. You were supposed to be fighting Iran as I wreak havoc in the region and go fighting other nations. And your American soldiers were supposed to be giving up their lives fighting Iran as I wreak havoc and take land in the Middle East. Didn't you know the plan, stupid? And you mean to tell me you're going to give Turkey some fighter jets that may cost the lives of our IDF soldiers, and we're not just going to go in and take land in the Middle East like we've been doing all along? It's supposed to be American soldiers dying for our folly, not our IDF soldiers. What is wrong with you, Trump? Don't you know the plan? So, it seems like Benjamin Netanyahu has the audacity to be mad that he's dealing with a fool who has decided to lift sanctions on Turkey as well. Well, they've done some good things here recently, and I'm gonna lift some of their sanctions. But he has repealed the ability for Iran to sell their oil. Why did he repeal their ability to sell their oil? Because they struck some ships that were going through the Strait of Hormuz. And he said that, they did something wrong by striking ships that were going through the Strait of Hormuz. But I thought that striking ships that were going through the Strait of Hormuz was in the Memorandum of Understanding. It is. It absolutely is in the Memorandum of Understanding. But now all of a sudden we're supposed to pretend like, oh, they did something they weren't supposed to do. They struck these ships that had the audacity to go against the Memorandum of Understanding. See, because we're supposed to pretend like the Memorandum of Understanding is all of this mealy mouth, mush mouth bullshit that they say and readjust and re-lie and lie and re-lie and say and re-say and present and represent. We supposed to pretend like this is what is in the Memorandum of Understanding, not what is actually written in the Memorandum of Understanding. We're not supposed to understand what is supposed to be understood in the Memorandum of Understanding. No, we are supposed to accept this this lie and conjecture of bullshit that is given up to us. What is in this Memorandum of Understanding? No, we read what is in there, and this is what was presented as a Memorandum of Understanding, until further negotiations have been done, which there have been no further negotiations. So this is where we are. We understand that. But now all of a sudden, where the ceasefire is over. You stupid bitch. Stay on topic. Who's talking about Mexicans? Stay your stupid ass on topic or get the fuck out of my chat with this dumb shit. Goodbye. The fuck you talking about? Stay on topic or get the fuck out of my chat. Talk about the actual topic. Why can't your American ass talk about the American shit that I'm talking about? Ain't nobody talking about no motherfucking Mexicans. I'm talking about you dumb Americans. How come you dumb Americans can't talk about the topic that I'm talking about? Mexicans ain't got shit to do with what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you stupid motherfucking Americans. The love of Trump's life. You uneducated, dumb Americans that fall for this dumb shit all the time. You dummies. That's what I'm talking about. Talk about yourselves. You fucking idiots. I'm talking about you. Anyway. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway. So, we have the dumb Americans out here believing everything this man is saying as he is getting more boots on the ground. This memorandum of understanding was nothing but a halt to ensure that there would be, hey, Madison, good morning. I am glad to see you. It's always good to see you. It's nothing but a ruse to get more boots on the ground, to endanger the lives of more American soldiers. So now all of a sudden he's calling the Iranian scum, and he saw all of that support that the Iranians gave this weekend for those funerals that were given, and he was shocked. Oh, who would have thought that? I didn't know that they were going to get so much support. Yeah, because you were listening to Benjamin Netanyahu lead you around like a little a kept puppy, because you're so stupid. Yeah, you didn't realize that. Yeah, you didn't listen to our intelligence agents. Yeah, you bought in some person that doesn't have intelligence experience, and you have Bill Pulte, who has no experience in intelligence, firing our intelligence agents who have worked their whole career in gathering intelligence, and you have a motherfucking Nepo baby in home building firing them at this moment. Now you want to talk about what you did not know. As we are about to get our asses handed to us, and we are not going to have any intelligence agents worth their salt to warn us about what's coming, because we have some sycophant firing all our experienced intelligence and counterintelligence agents. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. While you are talking about America first, USA, we got a Nepo baby from a subpar home building, Pote Homes, who fucking build homes that are falling apart before your signature dries on the fucking on the mortgage papers, who you can get to come back out and fix all the shit that's fucked up on the home, and this is who they even threw him out of their family business, but this is who is firing the motherfucking experienced intelligence agents in the United States. This is who is over all 18 intelligence agencies in the United States. And he's firing all the experienced intelligence agents. And he don't know anything about them. He doesn't know anything about intelligence. It is not even clear if he has a fucking clearance, an intelligence clearance. Let that sink in. And you a dummy still think talking about libtards and owning the libs and America first and all of this dumb shit. And you don't even know what peril these idiots have this country in. So I guess y'all didn't see all of those millions of people that came out for that service in Iran. Oh, I guess y'all didn't hear all of those chants that they want to get back at Trump. Do you think? Uh, do you did you see the representatives from China there? I guess you did not see the representative from China that showed up for this service. I guess you did not see the representatives from Saudi Arabia that showed up at that service. You know, the same Saudi Arabia that chopped up Jamal Khashoggi. The same Saudi Arabia that gives in one hand and takes from the other hand. The same Saudi Arabia that gave Jared Kushner a $2 billion. The same Saudi Arabia that once they start getting struck by missiles in this Iran war, pulled out of that live golf tournament. The same Saudi Arabia that has been now talking to China to make agreements with China, since America has shown that they will not protect Saudi Arabia against strikes in Saudi Arabia. That America would rather protect Israel rather than Saudi Arabia. After Saudi Arabia greased Jared Kushner palms with $2 billion, as Jared Kushner was over there begging for $5 billion more from Saudi Arabia. And what did America do? America let them burn and crash and burn under missiles because they decided to protect Israel instead of Saudi Arabia. Did you see Saudi Arabia's representative show up at that funeral? What the fuck you think is gonna happen? Oh, you're Trump supporters. You can't think. You can't think beyond the rhetoric that is given to you to repeat, because you have no critical thinking skills. Okay, so there's that. There's that. Okay, so what else are we going to talk about today? Let's get into it. Okay, here are some of the things that I wanted to get into it with you. Let me share my screen, and let's talk about it. Let me share this with you. Just in case you are unaware, let me remove Mitch McConnell. Let me let Mitch McConnell get a little rest. So the war is back on. I hope you have a solar generator. I hope you have something to store some fresh water. I hope you have a medical kit. I hope you have a good medical kit with tourniquets and all of those types of things. I hope you have personal protection equipment and things that will that you can insert in your personal protection apparatuses. I really hope that you have that. I hope you have some small denominations of money on hand. I really hope you have that. I hope you have something that you can store fresh water in. I really hope you have that, because I think a lot of people think that It's just about to be regular times. We're about to go to war. And some people think that it's about to be real regular times. But I hate to tell you, I don't think so. So let me share this with you. And why do you think millionaires, and billionaires already have their bunkers prepared? Why do you think? Why do you think Peter Thiel has up and totally left the United States of America and has gone to Argentina? Argentina, of all places. We're going to get into that as well. He said, fuck the United States of America. And you guys think that you can continue to run around the United States of America acting empty-headed and unprepared for what is about to happen to the United States of America? Do you think that you can continue to be stupid? You can, but you cannot continue to act like you have not been warned. That's what you cannot do. Let me share this with you. Because once you know, you cannot go back to not knowing. Let's get into this, shall we?
Patch, but things for Washington are not going too well with other Gulf partners. Israel and the United States are going through a rough patch, but things for Washington are not going too well with other Gulf partners either. The US seems to be benching its strategic ally, Saudi Arabia. We've already told you about their growing rift. Donald Trump has repeatedly mocked Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, only to get ghosted in return. Riyadh has not responded or engaged with any of Trump's comments, which seems to have infuriated the US president even further. As per reports, the United States now wants to withdraw its troops from Saudi Arabia. The Pentagon plans to remove all 2,300 troops. This includes air defense systems and fighter jets. Their PR spin on it is being called a global posture review. That's just diplomatic euphemism for temper tantrums. Let's be real. Trump seems to be furious with the Saudi Crown Prince. Why else would he mock him openly? Not once, but thrice since the Iran war began. During the war, Saudi Arabia denied the United States from using its air bases to bomb Iran. And Trump, as you can imagine, did not like that. In June, the US president said America had every right to use those bases and that the Saudi kingdom could not stop them. Listen to this.
Spoke to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia a number of times. They're all so happy that they're still, you have to have them happy too, you know. We're using their airports. Not that they could stop us if we didn't want them to, but it'd be nice that I want to get that little.
Now, here's what really happened. Trump started a war that MBS didn't sign up for. And during the fighting, Saudi Arabia was caught in the crossfire. Their civilian airports were shut down. Foreign investors fled the country. And most importantly, their oil exports were stuck in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, oil is Saudi Arabia's liquid gold. Oil exports make up around 40% of their economy. It is estimated that the Iran war cost Saudi Arabia at least $130 billion. The price for a war they did not even start. As the fighting dragged on, the rift between Washington and Riyadh grew. MBS basically told Trump, you lit the fire, you navigate the smoke. Saudi Arabia closed down its air bases for American offensive use, but they were kept operational for emergencies. Now that the fighting has come to a standstill, Trump is having second thoughts about his ties with MBS, a relationship he once called top of the line. Trump now wants to pull out all troops, air defense systems and fighter jets, leaving Saudi Arabia exposed. This is what American security guarantees look like. The moment Saudi Arabia, a sovereign nation, denied access to its air bases in a war Riyadh did not want, Washington did a U-turn. For the first time since 1990, the United States may no longer have a military presence in the Saudi kingdom. The American guarantees go back almost 36 years. But all it took was a firm no from Trump's favorite Gulf monarch for the guarantees to disappear. That is the level of maturity at which the White House operates these days. To top it off, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio completed his Gulf visit last week. He visited the UAE, Kuwait, and Bahrain. Rubio assured their leaders of American guarantees, but he completely skipped visiting the Saudi kingdom. Instead, Saudi foreign minister had to fly to Bahrain to get a meeting with Rubio. We're not sure if this was a mistake or a calculated move, but it did add salt to the wounds. Trump thinks that by threatening troop withdrawal, he is cornering the Saudi kingdom. In reality, the US needs Saudi Arabia, not the other way around. If MBS demands that America withdraw its troops, it would lead to the collapse of the entire American presence in the region. Now, most of the American troops are stationed in Kuwait. More than 13,000 of them, or around 10,000, are posted in Qatar. There are about 9,000 in Bahrain, more than 3,000 in the UAE. Saudi Arabia hosts the smallest American contingent, that is 2,300 troops. But the entire logistical chain passes through Riyadh, not to mention the vast airspace needed for flying in and out of the region. If Saudi Arabia is out of the picture, it could create a domino effect, and we're already seeing the first signs. The UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, and Bahrain have already put their foot down. Their bases can no longer be used by the United States if the Iran war resumes. Trump wanted to show Saudi Arabia who's the boss. Instead, he is getting an eviction notice from the Gulf.
First Post reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities.
I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so there's that. Let me go here. Let me share the next one I have with you about what's going on in the Middle East with Trump and this war. If you are unaware,
Israeli slave Donald Trump appears to have angered his terrorist master Benjamin Netanyahu by hinting at providing F-35 fighter jets to Turkey. There are reports of fresh tension in the Strait of Hormuz, as at least 2 commercial ships reported being hit by projectiles. Iran says it wasn't behind these attacks. Corrupt FIFA today robbed Egypt of a certain victory against Argentina, causing widespread condemnation. UK's rogue BBC has disgraced itself further by giving credence to Israeli propaganda over the inhuman treatment of Palestinian doctor Hussam Abu Safia in his concentration camp. Questions are being raised over the allegations of rape against anti-Israeli Democratic Senate nominee Graham Plattner in the US. This will be the broad focus of my video tonight. Also in this video, a powerful speech by Egyptian football coach Hossam Hassan, himself a footballing legend, on Israeli atrocities against Palestinians in Gaza. So please stay tuned. So after ignoring the rogue settler colony on the MOU with Iran, the deranged occupant of the White House today angered his Israeli master once again when he said that his country could sell F-35 jets to Turkey. This is what he said after arriving in Turkey.
Well, it's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good relationship. I would think that many people, I can tell you, many people, including the people sitting right here, thinks, why wouldn't we do that? We have a better relationship with Turkey, and Turkey's been in many ways much more loyal than other countries that we think would be loyal. So, yeah, it's something certainly we would consider. It's a great plane. It's the best, currently the best plane by far. And it's certainly something we will consider, yeah.
Not just this, he also announced the lifting of economic and defense sanctions against Turkey.
I can tell you, we're going to be taking the sanctions off. Okay? I don't want him to waste his time answering that question because we're working very closely with Marco Rubio, a very famous man, great Secretary of State, and with Scott Bessent and with Pete and everybody else. We're going to be taking the sanctions off. It's time to do that. Okay?
They had no idea this numbnut was going to make either of these announcements. This very transactional person who cares about nothing but what is going to fill his own personal coffers and the coffers of his own family, who cares nothing about national diplomacy. He only cares about what somebody says that he can get out of giving different nations warplanes and access to our military intelligence. Why did I say this? Let me tell you why this is important. Why it is important that they should not have been able to get this fighter jet, because Turkey has bought a missile defense system from Russia. And with them purchasing this missile defense system from Russia, that would allow them to then understand and lift all of the intelligence that has gone into this creating this fighter jet. That is why it is important that they don't sell this plane to Turkey. Let's get into this. But your president sits up here, and
one of America's most.
Hold on, your president sits up here and just makes a unilateral decision off the cuff to give away our intelligence to someone who has absolutely no loyalty to the United States. Let me find this right here. I think it's
sort of sung Erdogan's praises for one reason or another, but that shouldn't essentially get in the way.
Hold on. Is it here? Is it? I think it's here. Hold on 1 second. Why is it important? I think it's right here.
Of the FDD's Turkey program. Dr. JD, thanks so much for coming back on.
Thank you for having me. Great to be back.
President Donald Trump is in Turkey for the NATO summit, and he had a bilateral meeting with Turkish President Erdogan. In that meeting, he broke some news. He announced that he's lifting sanctions on Turkey, and he is certainly considering selling the country F-35s. And as a reminder, Turkey was banned from the fighter jet program back in 2019, President Trump's first term, because it bought a Russian air defense system. So to start off the conversation, what do you make of President Trump's comments?
Well, they're certainly unexpected, and I think it's causing some consternation and some reflections in Washington across both major parties. Like you said, and based on our previous conversations, there are actually impediments and real problems with bringing Turkey back into the F-35 program. And just for our viewers out there, the F-35, obviously, for us, is the crown jewel of the US's air fighting capability. It is a 5th-generation stealth fighter, and it has some pretty advanced capabilities. So long story short, this capability is usually shared with our most trusted and reliable partners and allies, and Turkey once was one of those. But as we also noted, it was removed from the program in 2019 precisely because Turkey purchased an air defense system from the Russians. And the problem that presented the first Trump administration is essentially this. If the F-35 platform is operated side by side with this Russian defense system that Turkey acquired, then the Russians are able to collect sensitive data on the F-35 stealth capabilities, its other capabilities that are relatively proprietary and very sort of secretive. And if we remember the Iran war recently, the Israelis were able to operate deep inside of Iranian territory without their F-35s even being seen. And the problem that Turkey has is like, we cannot afford to have the F-35's capabilities stolen.
To that point, that
Okay. Somebody said, we don't need the Saudis. Who said we needed the Saudis? Who said we needed the Saudis? It is peculiar that you think that I think we need the Saudis, but you have no qualm about Jared Kushner's over there getting $2 billion from the Saudis after the Saudis were the ones who were complicit in blowing up the Twin Towers. And now the Saudis are the ones who are over your president is over there creating deals for golf courses and big resorts and all of this. And Jared Kushner, after he got $2 billion from the Saudis for his personal business, he was then over there asking the Saudis for $5 billion more. So it's strange how you think that I think that we need the Saudis. No, it's not the we as in the United States need the Saudis, because what did the United States get from the Saudis except for a whole lot of United States citizens are blown up in the World Trade Center? What did the we as in the president and his family get from the Saudis? What did that we get from the Saudis? Are you stupid? You're not in a dumb place. You may be the dummy, but I'm not the dummy. What did that we get from the Saudis? And why are we, the Americans, exposed to the Saudis in the first place? The fuck out of here with that dumb shit.
and you've told me in multiple conversations that the F-35 is the crown jewel of our military capability. It gives us that real competitive edge over adversaries like Russia and China. So why would we give our F-35s to Turkey if they still have that Russian air defense system? Has Turkey promised, hey, we will get rid of that? I mean, what does that really look like?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I would also just say this: when we say, stealing the stealth capabilities or like sharing them with the Russians, we're talking about real American lives here, and the lives of other F-35 operators. If the Russians steal that plane's capabilities, they can use those to target that aircraft, which would cost American lives as well as the lives of our allies and partners. So we should just be clear on what we're saying here. And for the record, per your question, yes, look, Turkey has done nothing as we tape this now, essentially to divest itself or get rid of these S-400 missiles. And the reason that that is important is even though the president is signaling that he wants to remove the sale restrictions and existing sanctions that prevents Turkey acquiring the F-35, essentially what we're seeing is that there are also laws in place that prevent Turkey getting this. This is not just a decision, unfortunately, the president can make and say, well, I'm going to bring Turkey back into the F-35. That's going to get significant resistance, and that's going to run afoul of existing U.S. laws. And so the reason when people say, why is he doing this, given all these problems and given all the risks that would come along with giving Turkey the F-35, why is the president moving ahead with this? I think there's one big explanation that people probably need to hear is, unfortunately, I think the administration or the president is not able to listen to the variety of opinions that he needs to listen to inside of the US government. I think he needs to hear more critical voices inside of his administration. And I think he needs to listen to more critical voices in Congress who can advise him, saying, look, here are the risks, very real risks, and the legal impediments that prevent and should continue to prevent Turkey getting back into the F-35 program. And unfortunately, from the administration's point of view, right now what we have is his limited access, I would say, to very few voices that could tell him otherwise.
I want to read exactly in part what President Trump said when asked about this F-35 question, because I think it's telling into what made his decision. He said, it's a decision we're going to make. We have a very good relationship. He went on to say, I can tell you many people, including the people sitting right here, thinks, why wouldn't we do that? We have a better relationship with Turkey, and Turkey's been, in many ways, much more loyal than other countries that we think would be loyal. And then he also went on to say, this is something certainly we would consider. Does our relationship, or does his relationship rather, his good chemistry he described with Erdogan, how much does that matter when it comes to the F-35 program? Because like you said, we're talking about American lives here.
I mean, in reality, it shouldn't matter one bit. I mean, you may have a very good, close relationship. That's great. I mean, we know they have a personal rapport in this administration. The president has, frequently sort of sung Erdogan's praises for one reason or another, but that shouldn't essentially get in the way of sensible policy. I would also caveat this and say, look, the United States took the decision back in the 1970s to sell Iran F-14 fighter jets, which at that time were the cutting-edge fighter planes of the U.S. Air Force as well as U.S. Navy. And that's before Iran was taken over by the Islamic Republic, the Islamic regime that we have in place now. And that sale has cost us dearly in terms of what those fighter planes have been weaponized and used in downstream under the Islamic Republic. It is only in the last war against Iran we've been able to finally destroy all remnants of the original F-14 sales. So if we were to sort of revisit our decision to sell F-14s back to a close ally of the United States, before the Islamic Republic became the essential government of Iran, right? People here would say, what's the potential downside of selling weapons to a very close ally of the United States? And the answer would have been probably not much. Decision makers in the early 1970s here didn't really necessarily have the sort of any qualms that we have now relating to Turkey. But look, we have an ally on paper, Turkey, that is a NATO member since 1952. It has deeply troubling relationships with not only the Russians in terms of the S-400 missile system that we just talked about, but Turkey has very difficult and very sort of, I would say, very troubling relationship with terrorist entities such as Hamas, possibly Hezbollah. Turkey also threatens our existing NATO ally in the Eastern Mediterranean, which is Greece. They've threatened to essentially expand their maritime borders to essentially usurp and take over existing Greek islands in the Mediterranean and Aegean seas. Other European allies, such as Cyprus, are threatened, not least of all Erdogan's comments against Israel. Just over the weekend, Turkey's foreign minister made a comment that I have not essentially heard since basically the days of the Holocaust, whereby he said that Israel has become too much of a burden for the world to bear. That's in the foreign minister's own words. Now, when you take all these things together, you have to ask yourself the question, what would be the consequences of provisioning Turkey with an F-35, which is increasingly...
Well, in my opinion, he didn't lie about that. The link to this is in my description box. It is under F-35 sale will be a real problem. A problem for whom, though? So if you want to watch the remainder of this video, it is linked in my description box. So these are some of the problems.
I want to start on these F-35 jets because it's quite a demonstration of just how close the US and Turkey have become during this Trump administration. I just want you and our viewers to have a listen to my exchange with President Erdogan back in 2023. Have a listen.
During the Trump presidency, the U.S. had a wrong approach regarding the S-400s. Why? If we are a free democratic country taking part in a liberal global market, if I cannot purchase the defense system from the US, then it's the US that pushes us to buy a different system from a different country. We couldn't purchase those systems from the United States. That's why I bought the equivalent from Russia. And when the F-35s were not delivered to us, we were very upset because we are NATO allies. Turkey is one of the most significant members of NATO. That's when we started looking at the alternatives. When we saw the attitude of the Americans about the F-35s, we told them to at least provide us F-16s and the necessary parts so we continue our relations in a determined manner. There are some positive developments in that regard. I hope that these positive developments will continue.
So I just wanted our viewers to hear that, because I think it's important, as I ask you to unpack for us the significance then of Donald Trump sort of going back on his own ban from his first term, and why it is that you believe he has taken the position that he has now.
Well, the short answer, Becky, is he needs Erdogan now more than he did in the first term. And yet, those same concerns, the reason why we pulled back from selling F-35s to Ankara was because Ankara was pursuing this Russian radar technology, and it had the possibility of undermining the entire advantage that the F-35 used across the NATO alliance had. It made us more vulnerable. There's no indication, Becky, that Erdogan has decided to give up those Russian systems, to forego any future similar purchases that could endanger the F-35 program. So this is a major, major vulnerability, not just for the U.S., but for all of our NATO allies. It's a bizarre way to start a NATO summit by saying that we're going to take one of the most significant military systems that we have and essentially hand the details over to Moscow.
As Mr. Erdogan alluded to during this bilateral, Turkey has become a defense powerhouse. It's the second largest military in NATO, after the US, of course. You can see its surge in investment military spending that I'm just putting up on the screen for our viewers to see over the last decade, reaching nearly $30 billion last year. In years past, Turkey, Brett, has been considered by some members to be a problematic ally, but the tables do now seem to have turned. As we begin to see, the images coming out of this NATO meeting, this NATO leaders meeting, how important is Turkey to this alliance right now?
Well, it is interesting to underline that before there was Make America Great Again, there was Erdogan's Make Turkey Great Again. And, as the investment in military, but let's also note increased repression, and Erdogan very much has fancied himself that strong man. And perhaps this is why he gets on so well with Trump, because he shines in those qualities which are not necessarily the democratic principles. And important to note here, Becky, that being a democracy, respecting human rights, is as well in the NATO charter. And this has always been a point of tension with Turkey. It was in Madrid when I was at the NATO summit there, again last summer in The Hague. So, Turkey has had a strained relationship, and yet, because of the threats that we're facing, both from Russia as well as now Iran, Turkey has become a more indispensable partner. And so it's given Erdogan more leverage. But I come back to the point of the F-35. We're ceding this ground to him without necessarily getting very much in return. And as a recovering diplomat, for me, that's just, dumb diplomacy.
We're dealing with a dumb president. Of course it's dumb diplomacy.
Mr. Netanyahu's view, he says that this really would upset the regional balance that sort of is underpinned right now with Israeli air superiority. That has always been sort of a policy of the United States. He says that Turkey is a threat to Greece, to Cyprus, and to the state of Israel. Is he right? Is Prime Minister Netanyahu right? Or do you think the president should lift the sanctions and perhaps there's a workaround to the sale of those F-35s?
Well, both things can be correct here. Ambassador Jeffries has got just...
I don't want to hear from you. I don't want to hear from you. Who are you? I don't care. I don't care. Okay, so there's that. Let me get back to what I was presenting to you. If you were unaware of that, that is what's going on, and Benjamin Netanyahu is not so...
One of America's most...
Not too pleased about it. China is about to pop the AI bubble. Is it? Really? Well, I knew it was going to pop soon. Now, America wants you to believe that this AI bubble is invincible, like it is something real.
So the whole U.S. stock market, including your 401k, your index funds, and the value of your retirement, is based on a story that might be coming to an end.
You mentioned earlier the dot-com bubble. Are we doing dot-com bubble 2.0 right now?
Oh, this is much bigger. The AI build-out relative to the TMT build-out of 99, 2000 is multiples, even as a percent of the economy.
Okay, so one of the big reasons why the stock market is being held up right now is because there's a story that American companies are going to make trillions of dollars in profits forever because the world will be forced to use America's technology.
You have a lot of data that you look at. Do you think China is getting better at AI? How is the gap narrowing?
There are two relevant tech centers, and 2.5. America, China, Israel. Those are the tech centers.
China AI, in my opinion, is leaps and bounds further ahead than Americans' AI. And this is the thing that they are trying to keep quiet about, because they know that China has far surpassed American AI. As they try to sell you on these advanced chips that America has, I don't believe the hype. Do not believe the hype. That's why American AI, that's why they are putting so much money in. And this is why they have decided to go in and steal money under the guise of investments from your 401k, from your pension funds, to prop up this fantasy AI bubble, because they need more financing for this AI, because millionaires and billionaires, they're done with pumping their money into something that they see there is no future in. So they have decided to go into the security of regular people's retirement funds to pump up this failing AI in the United States. I said it.
Of the world. They will win or we will win.
Now, some people say that story
that you look at. Do you think China is getting better at AI? How is the gap narrowing?
There are two relevant tech centers, and 2.5. America, China, Israel. Those are the tech centers of the world. They will win or we will win.
Now, some people say that story is coming to an end because of all the lies, the spending, and the competition. Now, on June 12th, something interesting happened. A letter was sent to a company in San Francisco. That letter was from Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary of the United States. And by the end of the night, the most advanced AI in the world was shut down. Anthropic, which is the company behind Claude, was ordered to cut off 2 of its most powerful AI models from every foreign national in the world. Not just China, by the way. That order included countries like France, Germany, Japan, and even Anthropic's employees, if they weren't American citizens. They were also locked out. Now, 4 days after that letter, France fires Palantir. The French Prime Minister said that we can't depend on partners who are capable of turning off the tap. Germany already walked away. Spain told its companies to stop signing deals. The same goes for Britain. And it's because the world found out that it has a choice. And the choice is literally 7.5 times cheaper. Because while America is spending $1 trillion a year building AI, which is 3% of the whole US economy, China is spending a fraction of that and giving it away virtually for free. So,
told you. What did I tell you? What have I always been warning you about? This AI bullshit that they are now bankrupting the American citizens' retirement and 401k is nothing but a circle jerk of rich people lying to you. All of these data centers that they are propping up with your money, all of these investments into their companies that they are only investing your money but not their own money to make themselves richer and you poorer. To only try to sell information to you. And if you don't have enough information to buy this AI information, you will not get the best AI information whenever they get it fleshed out based upon how much you can purchase after you have been the one who have set up the success of this business. Only the rich people will be able to get the best information out of something that your finance has propped up. And the rich has been able to not invest in this. It was invested in by your retirement funds, your 401k funds, and they can go in and, piecemeal together whatever they want to purchase. But you can't afford to purchase any information. You get AI slop. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, it's wrong. It's wrong, who cares? You're poor.
in this video, I want to explain how China is competing with the US and how this AI story might be coming to an end and some of the things that you can use to potentially see this bubble popping before anybody else. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is RonyiQ. Hope you're doing well. Come for the finance and stay for the AI bubble everyone saw coming. So let me just start with a basic question. Do people really want this AI technology? Because there's a theory that says the reason that this is such a prevalent story in the market is so that these tech companies could justify their insanely high stock prices, because in reality, they've run out of really good ideas. In fact, there's a really good interview on CNBC with Ed Zitron who brought up
now, and that is the main question. You hear all of these dummies talking about AI, but they cannot give you one good thing that AI can do for their lives. They give you this weak ass shit about talking to AI. If you're talking to AI, you may need to get out of the house more. If you're talking to AI all of the time, you are showing signs of mental illness. If you regularly are talking to AI and you are saying this to people and to real people, and you think that this is something cute and fancy. No, what you're saying is you're giving in to some type of mental illness. There's nothing cute about talking about how much you talk to your AI. There's nothing cute about it. Nothing. You're someone who wants to always hear the only thing you want to hear is something that is appeasing you. You don't want to live in reality. We know some of you don't want to live in reality by how you live your life. You will live your life as a fraud to not live in reality. You will put the lives of other people in danger to not live in your reality, and try to make believe that is a fine and dandy to put the lives of others in danger because you want to hide who you really are, because you're too much of a fucking punk to live your life out loud, as you try to act as if you're living your life out loud, but you're too scared to live your life out loud. When the rubber meets the road, now you want to hide who you really are, but you'll put someone else's life in danger. Let's continue.
A lot of really great points.
But fundamentally, large language models are not the future. The only reason big tech is investing in this is that they've run out of hypergrowth ideas. They don't have a next iPhone. They don't have a new Google search. So they've put over $1 trillion with trillions more to come into a kind of a dead-end industry, because when that ends, they'll have to admit that they don't have anything else.
Now, throughout the video, I'm going to show you more clips from that
dead-end industry. They tell you they're going to take all your jobs, and dummies continue to clamor for it. And usually the dummies whose jobs can be taken by it the most are the ones who are clamoring for it the most. Those are the dummies who clamor for AI the most. The useless dummies whose jobs can be taken by it first. That's the kicker of it. Because they want everyone else who works with their hands to believe that they are less than. When motherfucker, you are the less than motherfucker whose jobs could be taken first by AI, because you're useless. Your thoughts and your ideas are useless. We know your thoughts and ideas are useless because you talk about how you go to AI to do your jobs at work. To prompt your work via using AI. If you're saying that you use AI to do your job, we understand that you are useless in your job. See, a motherfucker who is doing a honest day's work with their hands, with their bodies. See, they're not useless. You're the useless one. But you want to pretend like you are some subpar motherfuckers. Above board motherfuckers. When you're the useless motherfuckers. Let's continue.
Interview, but there was also an interview with Alex Karp, who is the CEO of Palantir, which, if you don't know, is the company that works closely with the government and pretty much every three-letter agency in the world. And Alex also brings up the fact that nobody really trusts AI right now.
Who owns the data? Where is it cached? Are the prompts secure? Is this being transferred to you? Are you being okay, if it was so valuable, let's say I can make you $1 billion right tomorrow. Wouldn't I say, I'll make you $1 billion and I want 30%? Why are they charging for tokens if it's so valuable?
He is saying, if the promise of AI is as good as they are marketing it to be in its current form, they would not be charging us for tokens. Instead, they'd be charging us for building a $1 billion business idea where they would take 30% of the revenue. Because think about how you pay for anything in business. You pay a lawyer to win a court case. You pay a contractor to remodel your house. The price you pay is attached to a specific result. Now, AI companies do not work that way. They charge us per what's called token usage. Now, a token is basically a word. Every word the AI reads and every word it writes for you, we pay for that. Whether the answer was good or was really bad. And Alex Karp is basically saying, why would they price their business that way? Why wouldn't OpenAI, ChatGPT, just say, only pay me when it works? If we create a good idea for you, give us a cut of your income.
But I'm telling you, in this country, at every single enterprise I deal with. These people are livid. They're like, I am paying for tokens that create no value. These people are stealing the weights and alpha of my business, and they're creating a wealth tax that does not help the poor. It just punishes, starts with the billionaires. Every single person at this table is going to be paying a wealth tax only to punish us.
If they were confident that this thing created this value, that would be the easiest sales pitch in history. Pay us nothing unless we make you money and unless we build you $1 billion idea. But they can't offer that because these models do what's called hallucinate, right? This is where they confidently make things up. And nobody, including the people who built them, could tell you when or really why it happens. Right? No one's been able to figure out how to fix it completely.
You'll notice that both Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei and Sam Altman have both said, we can't wait to see what you build with this. Well, that's because they don't know what you can build with this. They want everyone else to do their innovation for them, spend as much as they can on tokens, and
they always tell you that it's always of the vagueness of it. Everybody can be an entrepreneur. This is going to set you up, and you can go out and do whatever hobby you can. There's nothing. Everything is all of this vagueness of this greatness that everybody can be. With all of the mistakes that is in everything that is done with this AI. But you're supposed to go out and be vague as you continue to have to train their AI, as you are the one who has to go in and correct their AI to make it even be accurate. All of the mistakes that are in AI, you are the one. The only thing that you are doing well when you correct AI is you're making their product better. But what are you making for yourself with this model of AI that is prone to us stick in a whole lot of incorrect information, and you so stupid that you go in and correct a billionaire's product for free. But what do you get out of it? What do you get out of correcting a billionaire's product for free? You get nothing out of it. They want to charge you. They want to tell you that they're doing something for you.
and take whatever's left, except they lose too much money for that strategy to actually work.
And that puts every corporation in America in a very awkward situation. Because let's say you're the CEO of a corporation, right? You just spent $50 million on AI this year. So your board of directors asks you a question. They're like, what did we get for this $50 million we just spent? What's the ROI? And you're like, I don't know, right? We don't have a number. Nobody has a number. Corporate America is paying subscription fees on a technology whose outcome we cannot measure. And it gets worse though, because not only can we not measure it, we are also risking our company's secrets and potentially creating a competitor. Here's what Alex has to say about that.
But something has gone completely wrong. And the basic view among enterprises in this country is I'm going to chillax and waste my time with tokens. I'm going to get no value and they're going to get my IP.
The fear for all these CEOs is that when your company uses these models, your data flows through them, right? Your process, your trade secrets, the special sauce that makes you profitable, which Alex Karp calls the alpha. So what happens when the AI company that you use learns from your business?
That's all AI does. They learn from your business, and they are the one who is going to steal all of your ideas. Do you think that you're going to sit up and talk to AI? And the AI are these billionaires' best idea? They have nothing else to offer beyond AI, and you are the motherfuckers who are training AI, and this is their last and big and final idea that they cannot even complete to perfection, because you motherfuckers are completing and perfecting their AI idea. So what is going to happen when you are sitting up here talking to AI because you love to talk to AI because they make you think that your mental illness is something that is an acquired taste, that you are some above par a crazy motherfucker because you sit up and talk to AI all day? All AI is going to do is going to patent any original idea that you think of, because these billionaires are not thinking of any idea. Their greatest idea was AI, because they know that they have you dumb motherfuckers out here that will sit up and talk to AI, thinking you are some above par, high yielding motherfucker that was sitting up here talking to AI because they got you thinking you are some above par about it stupid ass Negro sitting up here talking to AI, thinking you are some high yielding ass motherfucker, and you are living in mental illness, talking to a computer, giving this computer all of your fucking ideas. And then here is Sam Altman digging in some booty while he getting all of your motherfucking ideas, patenting it. That's what you're doing, you dumb motherfuckers. Peter Thiel licking up in some booty hole, getting all of your ideas. That's what you're doing, you stupid bastards.
It just becomes your competitor. And this is not a hypothetical thing, by the way. Anthropic launched a design product called Claude Design while having a relationship with a company called Figma, which is a design company. Figma's CEO publicly said he was shocked. So picture being a business and then watching that. You're paying your vendor millions of dollars a year to use their AI, but what you're actually doing is paying them and training your own replacement. So what's the solution then? This is where it gets really interesting.
But what is happening among the most technical players is they're saying, I want something I own. This is my business. I want to own the GPUs. I want to own my data. I want to own the model. I want to control the alpha. Why would they get access to my data if they're going to build my alpha? Why wouldn't I control the weights?
Right. What that means is instead of renting an AI from someone, instead you just download one, you run it on your own computers using your own data where no one can see it and no one can learn from it. And also no one can shut it off. He then goes on to say, though, that most businesses don't even need the latest and greatest cutting edge AI because you don't need the smartest one to process insurance claims, right? You need one that's specifically really good at insurance claims. And what's interesting is that Alex Karp profits from this business model as well. So why would he be saying all this? What's his motive? Because remember, France, Germany, Spain, they're canceling their contracts. Palantir has been losing those contracts across Europe all year. Now, 2 days before that interview, Palantir announced a partnership with NVIDIA to sell open models in sovereign environments. Basically, that interview was a product launch for his new service, which is why he's out there telling other companies to download and own their own AI. So that is the first problem with AI. Nobody trusts it. But there's a second problem that's even bigger. Now, before I explain the second problem, everything in this video, like the AI spending and whether this is a bubble at all, depends completely on where you're reading it.
Okay, so there's the intro. This video is in my description box. I'm not going to play the whole video, just a little bit to wet your whistle. This is in my description box. It's under the title AI Bubble is Popping. Go and check out this video. It is in the description box under the title AI Bubble is Popping. Okay? Big AI is terrified. What is this?
Did you know that AI image generators default to dark skin
for criminals and too light skin for CEOs, that's not an accident. Artificial intelligence isn't neutral. You may think that it's a part of the bigger technology world and that makes it somewhat more reliable or maybe just more scientific. And yet the reality is biases get baked into these programs. Biases gets baked into AI, and now AI is booming. And yet communities like the Black community continue to be underserved, underrepresented, and frankly, misrepresented because of these baked in biases. These are serious blind spots, serious deficiencies about culture and community. And when Isosa Osa at Onyx Impact saw the void, saw the need for something new and advanced that could address these things and these problems, she said, let's go. And that's exactly what's happened. I invited her here at Katie Fang News to talk about this incredible new AI chat assistant called Aisha. And let me tell you, it has so many downloads, so many users, and it's only been out for a week. And it is also thoughtful about environmental impacts. It's thoughtful about how we need to ensure that communities of color don't remain marginalized and don't remain underrepresented. Take a listen, because I know you'll be excited with this news. I'm so excited to be having this conversation with Isosa Osa, the founder and CEO of Onyx Impact, about Aisha, this amazing new AI chat assistant. Isosa, it's so nice to have you here at Katie Fang News.
So wonderful to be here. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, listen, before we hit record, I was saying, you know, we're all entitled to complain, which we do. And trust me, I have a gold medal in it. But what's so cool about Aisha is that you saw the need and you did something about it. And I think at a time when a lot of us are struggling to find paths forward, recognizing and identifying the problems, you were like, look, here is the solution. So for folks that are tuning in, let them know about Aisha.
Absolutely. So Onyx Impact, our nonprofit that owns Aisha, we're a research, media, and technology organization that's dedicated to amplifying Black voices and protecting Black communities in an era of propaganda. And we have created and released research and tools like the Digital Green Book, the Blackout Report, our Information Integrity Lab with Black News, and in this quest to try to fight these information threats targeting Black audiences, right? And one thing that we saw and we knew was that the most powerful information tool of our generation was artificial intelligence, was actively being handed to Black communities in a way that harmed them, right? And we decided at Onyx Impact that was unacceptable. And we decided that we were going to be intentional about building an AI chat assistant that was built for us, right? Aisha.ai, that will be better for everyone, right? As a result, it is built on Black history, Black news, Black progress, right? We prioritize user privacy. We do not take any of your data or conversations. Our engineers can't even see your conversations to train our model. Our data centers are located in Vancouver and Montreal and Toronto, and we chose those cities specifically because they represent the cleanest energy grids in all of North America, right? And so everything is being done with intention. We really highly recommend y'all try Aisha out at Aisha.ai because our engineers have spent over a year building this local proprietary model to be able to provide the communities that AI has left behind with a tool that can work, that is not trying to take their job, but can work for them.
Yeah, so I was fascinated because when I was preparing to have this conversation with you and I was reading up, I saw...
Okay, so this is interesting. Let's see, what do they concentrate on?
Fault space. And yet when I was reading that, Asosa, I was like, whoa, like that's just wrong. And yet blind, you think technology is supposed to be this neutral kind of above human fault space. And yet when I was reading that, Asosa, I was like, whoa, Like that's just wrong. And yet think about how many people use ChatGPT, etc., right? Today, even if they don't really understand how this artificial intelligence works, a lot of them, I think, use that and just make an assumption that what gets spit out by that AI generator is true and accurate.
And look, that is absolutely correct. And at Onyx Impact, we are misinformation, disinformation experts, right, at our core. And one of the biggest pieces of misinformation that is told is that AI is neutral, that AI is unbiased. AI is technology, and we have always known that technology reflects the values of the folks that built it. It reflects their priorities. It reflects their blind spots, and it reflects their assumptions about whose lives, whose history, and whose language deserve to be centered, right? And when
all you have to do is take a cruise through X, and you will see the biases of technology. With all of the white nationalists, all of the hate mongering that is
Which is
allowed,
why he's out there telling other companies to
that is
download and own their own
allowed
AI.
in technology. So I kind of got off. I kind of got off track with this AI portion of the program. So those links are in the description box. If you
One of
want
America's
to,
most influential.
if you want to check them out. Since we're talking about, I gotta go here. Let me see what this is.
Alright guys, so the tech war with China is getting nastier by the day, and the US is now facing a problem that has no clean solution available. Now the AI build-out is the single most important driver of the entire US economy right now. It could hit 2% of GDP in 2026 alone. That's almost equivalent to the entire US defense budget, which means Washington simply cannot afford to let this engine stop. If the AI build-up halts, a recession follows almost immediately after. Now, every connected industry collapses with it simultaneously. Construction, chip makers, power equipment manufacturers, even cooling systems. All of it fails together at once. And yet panic over China winning the AI race has now completely clouded Washington's judgment. Now, Trump is throwing everything he has at Beijing, but the obsession is increasing economic risks rather than actually reducing them.
We have to be at the top, otherwise China is going to take it over. Like, for instance, AI, we're leading substantially in AI over China and everybody else. I mean, we're leading. When I was with President Xi 3 weeks ago, he greeted me and they said,
We know he's lying. We know you're doing great with this AI. We know Chi didn't say that. If Chi thought that, he would never tell you this.
first words, I mean, literally were, wow, you've really done a great job. You've really, because this country was dead. We had a dead country. Now we have the hottest country in the world.
Now, the scale of commitment.
Isn't it miraculous that every world leader tells him the same thing? First, it was the Saudi prince who told him, "Oh, your country used to be dead. Now you're the hottest country alive." Every world leader he meets tell him this corny Studio 54 line that you're the hottest country alive. Hottest country. Every world leader tells him this catchphrase from 1987, 84 Studio 50, Studio 50. What is it? Studio 54 line. Get the fuck out of here with this dumb shit.
Made by US tech companies is now almost incomprehensible to process. Future data center leases have already surpassed $850 billion in total commitments. And these obligations, they're going to start appearing on balance sheets very, very soon. If AI demand collapses before all those leases generates adequate returns, the domino effect is going to be immediate and it's going to be catastrophic for the entire economy. Hyperscalers stop signing new leases, property developers stop building new facilities, GPU demand will just fall sharply across the board. And all those power equipment orders, they're going to dry up completely as well. AI capital expenditure is going to collapse. But investors right now are betting with extraordinary and really dangerous confidence that none of this will actually happen. Now, US margin debt has hit 6.2% of total US money supply. That's one.
Like that data center that they are wanting to build in Utah, 2.5 times larger than Manhattan. When is that going to be built and turn a profit? All of these huge data centers, the data center in Louisiana that they want, Mark Zuckerberg wants to build, that is the size of Manhattan, in the one of the poorest states, in the poorest part of Louisiana, Northwest Louisiana, the size of Manhattan. When is that going to turn a profit? And who is going to turn a profit for? All of this dumb shit.
$0.4 trillion of borrowed money currently betting on stock prices continuing to rise. It's insane. Now, this level of margin debt has always directly preceded every major market collapse in modern history. You're talking about the dot-com bubble, the global financial crisis. Both were preceded by exactly this kind of leverage bets building up underneath the surface. When margin
global collapse have always been preceded by these types of bubbles. And now everyone's pensions and retirement funds have been added to the mix, as they have taken the billionaires' money out of all of this bubble fare to prop up this AI bullshit. Just in time for the everyday man to lose everything, as they have not agreed to be a part of any of this. You have not agreed to be a part of any of this dumb shit. But they made a way for your future to be tied up in this, so you can lose your future that you worked for.
Calls start hitting investors, this becomes the ultimate rug pull scenario. Markets don't just correct gradually, they crater by level in rapid succession. And it's not just the Max 7 at risk when that happens. Semiconductor stocks, which are sitting on their own separate and equally dangerous bubble, they could just implode as well. And that's going to amplify the damage across the economy, across the markets. Now, SK Hynix, the Korean chip giant, is now attempting to raise $29 billion from US investors. And if they succeed, the entire market gets even more leveraged and even more dependent on the AI narrative holding together indefinitely. In the 3 previous major market bars, interest rates rose steadily while bubbles were still forming and expanding. And once rates climb high enough to destabilize the entire financial system, markets collapse by at least 50% from their peaks. And that is the exact environment we are moving towards right now. We are moving towards an environment where the Fed, they are signaling rate hikes ahead. And the cracks are already forming, not just from domestic rate pressures, but from China applying direct competitive pressure globally. Now, if China successfully drives down the worldwide cost of AI access, the demand for expensive US AI compute collapses rapidly in response. China is already executing precisely this plan at global scale with real money committed. Now, China just announced a $39 billion data center project in Brazil specifically. Now, the facility starts at 200 megawatts of capacity and it's going to scale all the way up to a full gigawatt of computing power. It will be filled with servers, advanced networking equipment, and Chinese AI chips. And this single project is not minor or incidental development. It's a strategic declaration. It's not just one Chinese company making this kind of move. Alibaba is also actively considering building or renting data center capacity in Brazil themselves. Now, these moves, they look relatively innocuous on the surface when viewed individually, but collectively, they represent something much more significant. Now, the old assumption that governed the entire AI investment thesis was straightforward. China will build the AI infrastructure exclusively for Chinese domestic consumption. But the US is special. They're going to sell AI compute to the rest of the world commercially. Now, China just challenged that foundational assumption with their 39 billion commitment to Brazil. Now, the driving reason behind this pivot is also straightforward to understand. US AI is simply getting too expensive for companies globally to continue justifying the cost at current token prices. Now, Uber just publicly announced they're capping AI token spending at $1,005 per employee per month across the entire company. They burned through the entire 2026 AI budget in just 4 months of usage. Now, companies across Silicon Valley are starting to ration their own AI consumption because the operational cost has become genuinely unsustainable for normal business operations.
Yeah, we talked about how Uber in May, they had already burned through their whole 2026 budget for AI. Yes, and there was another company that that said that they were close to burning through their whole 2026 budget for AI. I can't remember the other company. Oh, Jesus. I reported on this way back in May. Yeah, but this is a bunch of bullshit. What are they getting for it? Nothing. Nothing.
Now compare that reality to mini.
Uber actually said that they didn't see where they actually got anything for their money.
Emacs, a Chinese AI model delivering approximately 80 to 90% of the raw capability of Anthropic's Claude Opus, and it costs between 10 and 50 times less. Now, at that price differential, the commercial decision for most global companies outside the US becomes completely obvious very quickly indeed. And a big shout out to our sponsor today, Indigo Precious.
Okay, so this link is in my description box as well. Let me I'll grab this and put it in my description box. That last one about the young lady who created AI for Black consumers. It's in my description box under Black AI. This link right here is under the description box that is entitled AI Bubble is Popping. You can see the rest of this under AI Bubble is Popping. Hold on one second. Please go over and watch the remainder of these videos if you like. Now, speaking of AI, let's get into Mr. Palantir himself, Peter Thiel, who has left the United States.
One of America's most influential and weirdest billionaires has packed up, fled the country, and moved to, of all places, Argentina. Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal and Palantir, one of Facebook's earliest backers and Republican megadonor who has publicly warned about the coming of the Antichrist, has bought a $12 million mansion in Buenos Aires and enrolled his children into local schools. But while Thiel has moved himself and his family to Argentina, his fortune is doing the exact opposite. In a single quarter, his company booked $687 million in revenue from the United States government alone. Meanwhile, his venture firm just wrote the largest single check in its history for a defense contractor that landed a $20 billion US Army deal. So, instead of fleeing the American system, Thiel now owns a larger piece of it than ever before. With that in mind, today we break down the tax deadline he was racing against, the capital that never left American soil, and why he chose Javier Milei's Argentina out of every other country on earth. My name is Guy, and this is the Finance Bureau. So, the 58-year-old Peter Thiel has purchased a historic 17,200 square foot mansion in Barrio Parque, one of the most exclusive enclaves in Buenos Aires. The property was designed by the renowned Argentine architect Alejandro Bustillo, giving it real cultural prestige. He also relocated his husband, Matt Danzeisen, and their children, who were reportedly enrolled in a local school. And then there were at least 4 documented meetings with Argentina's President Javier Milei across 2 years, including multiple encounters in Buenos Aires in April 2026. He's also met with Milei's deregulation minister and his economy minister. So naturally, this has triggered speculation that Argentina was about to hand Thiel's citizenship under a brand new investment framework. However, a spokesperson for President Milei explicitly denied that any formal citizenship offer was ever made. What we do know, though, is that Argentina passed Decree 524 in 2025, a citizenship by investment scheme waiving the usual residency requirement for investors, with a threshold expected around $500,000. And the government's tone has been unmistakable. Argentina's cabinet chief openly declared that all the billionaires of the world fleeing high-tax, over-regulated countries are, quote, welcome in the Argentine Republic, the new land of freedom. So, the picture being painted with Peter Thiel is of a billionaire bolting for a libertarian refuge. However, a look at the calendar reveals that this was in fact a carefully planned move. You see, Thiel left California in 2025, timing his exit against one very specific deadline. This was a ballot initiative in California, the so-called Billionaire Tax Act, proposing a one-time 5% tax on any net worth above $1 billion. And the entire thing hinged on a single date, a residency snapshot taken on the 1st of January 2026. Put simply, if you were a California resident on that morning and had a net worth of $1 billion or more, you were liable. If you'd already established your domicile somewhere else, however, you had a powerful argument that you were not. For Thiel, reports suggest his exposure to that one tax was somewhere in the region of $1.4 billion. But he wasn't the only one paying attention. At least 6 prominent California tech billionaires reportedly relocated themselves and or their business entities out of the state before that deadline hit. Together, those individuals represented a significant share of the initiative's potential tax base. The Legislative Analyst's Office estimates the full measure could raise roughly $100 billion from California's roughly 200 billionaires, which naturally means at least some of those billionaires are going to relocate to try and avoid it. And here's why, for Peter Thiel at any rate, Argentina is such an attractive prospect. You see, as a non-resident, Argentina's wealth tax would generally only apply to his local assets, like that mansion. His global fortune, the Palantir stake, the venture portfolios, all of it stays completely outside the Argentine tax net. This is the critical distinction between migration residency and tax residency. He can use the mansion as what advisors call a bolt hole, spending most of his time elsewhere, and never expose the bulk of his wealth to the Argentine taxman. But intriguingly, Argentina is just the latest entry on a rather long list, because Thiel has been collecting exits for years. He holds American citizenship by birth and German citizenship, having been born in Frankfurt. He was granted New Zealand citizenship back in 2011, where he bought a 477-acre sheep station, despite having spent barely any time in the country, which caused considerable public controversy. And he reportedly applied for Maltese citizenship around 2022. So, look at the timeline. New Zealand in 2011, Malta in 2022, Argentina in 2025. This is a man methodically building a deliberate strategy. And by the way, if you want to get a better overview of the stories that directly affect your portfolio, then you should be reading the Finance Bureau newsletter. It's absolutely free, and we break down everything regarding global finance, commodity markets, macroeconomic trends, and monetary policy so that you never miss what truly matters. All you have to do is click the link in the description or scan this QR code to get started. All right then, now let's dig a little deeper into the fact that while Thiel may be checking out of the USA, his capital is doing nothing of the sort. We'll start with Palantir, which in the first quarter of 2026 booked $687 million in US government revenue alone. To put that into perspective, that single quarter of government revenue is worth roughly 57 times the price of his entire Buenos Aires mansion, every 90 days. And the growth is almost entirely American. Palantir's total US revenue grew 104% year over year in that quarter. Its international revenue, around 38%. While Thiel moves globally, his money is concentrating intensely inside the United States. And that embeddedness runs deeper than just revenue. In March 2026, the Pentagon designated Palantir's Maven Smart system as an official program of record. In plain English, that locks Palantir into the Defense Department's multi-year budget process, insulating it from annual political squabbles and guaranteeing revenue until at least 2029. A NATO commander even admitted that Europe currently has no viable alternative to Palantir's battlefield AI. And then there's Anduril, the defense startup backed by Thiel's Founders Fund. In June 2025, Founders Fund committed $1 billion to Anduril in a single round, the largest individual check in the firm's entire history. 8 months later, in March 2026, the US Army awarded Anduril a 10-year contract worth up to $20 billion. Then, in May 2026, Anduril closed a $5 billion Series H round led by Thrive Capital and Andreessen Horowitz that valued the company at $61 billion, more than doubling its valuation from the June 2025 round. Meanwhile, Anduril is building Arsenal 1, a 5 million square foot weapons manufacturing facility, not in Argentina, not in New Zealand, but in central Ohio, Pickaway County, just south of Columbus. Thiel's network is building America's next weapons factory right in the American Midwest. By most assessments, the overwhelming bulk of Thiel's fortune, his Palantir equity, Founders Fund stakes, and US venture positions remain anchored entirely within the American financial system. So, paradoxically, while Thiel may be looking to live outside the US for whatever reason, he's more financially indispensable to the US security state than he has ever been. He remains deeply invested in America, choosing to hedge his residence rather than his income. But why Argentina specifically? Well, the answer traces back to an idea Thiel has been funding for nearly 2 decades. You see, he's long championed a concept he calls exit over voice. Instead of trying to fix a broken system from the inside, you simply leave it and build a new one. In 2009, he wrote that he no longer believed freedom and democracy were compatible and argued the future of freedom lay in new spaces beyond the reach of the state. And he put real money behind that belief. In 2008, he seeded the Seasteading Institute, co-founded by Milton Friedman's grandson, eventually contributing around $1.25 million towards the dream of floating autonomous cities in international waters beyond any nation's laws or taxes. When that stalled, he pivoted to charter cities on land. His flagship experiment in this regard was Prospera, a private enclave on a Honduran island operating under its own legal system with a 1% business tax and private arbitration instead of national courts. And here is the cautionary tale, because Prospera is the perfect foreshadow. When the Honduran government changed and repealed the law, Prospera's backers filed a claim with an international tribunal. The initial demand was just shy of $11 billion in damages. Their own experts later floated a ceiling as high as $26.4 billion. So, consider the pattern. Thiel backs a libertarian microstate, the host government changes its mind, and now there's an 11-figure lawsuit to deal with. Argentina is the same bet, but on a nation-state scale. Thiel now gets to watch an entire country run a real-time libertarian experiment. MIllet is helping this along by slashing ministries, eliminating price controls, deregulating energy and agriculture, and pursuing dollarization. Both Thiel and MIllet publicly hold the view that taxes are theft. Thiel is relocating to a live test of the exact ideas he's been bankrolling for 20 years. And this trend extends far beyond one eccentric billionaire and ultimately affects everyone because Thiel is simply the loudest signal of a longer-term direction of travel. In 2025, private wealth migration trackers recorded another record year for millionaire relocations across borders. Industry surveys suggest a substantial share of ultra-high net worth individuals have already established a second legal jurisdiction, with a growing proportion actively exploring further options. And industry trackers report that demand from American clients for alternative residency and citizenship programs has surged sharply in recent years. The US is now consistently one of the top source markets for such applications. So, when you hear billionaire flees America, understand what's really happening here. The ultra-wealthy now treat citizenship like a diversified portfolio. Just as no sophisticated investor puts 100% of their money into a single stock, this class no longer puts 100% of their legal existence into a single jurisdiction. But notice what they almost never do. They don't actually renounce. You see, the United States taxes its citizens on worldwide income no matter where they live, one of only 2 countries on Earth to do so. And renouncing triggers a brutal exit tax on the deemed sale of all your worldwide assets. The wealthy secure the option to leave without actually severing their ties to America. So, the system being built here is a 2-tier one. The people with the most capital and the best information are buying optionality. They get a second passport, a third, a bolt hole on another continent, a legal escape hatch from any single government's decision. The rest of us, on the other hand, are tied to one jurisdiction, one tax authority, one currency, and one set of political outcomes we have no power to opt out of. When your government raises taxes, you pay them. When your currency weakens, your purchasing power erodes with it. You cannot scan a QR code and become a non-resident of your own financial reality. The exits being engineered at the top are simply not available to the average household. And that asymmetry is perhaps the real story here. It goes far beyond one man's mansion. It's a class of people rewiring their relationship to the nation-state itself, while everyone else stays exactly where they are. The era of treating citizenship as a fixed, permanent fact of life is ending, at least for those who can afford it. A collapse happens by accident and everyone sees it coming. A hedge, by contrast, is a subtle, deliberate choice made years in advance, documented in tax filings and passport applications rather than in panic. Peter Thiel simply bought himself the option of never being trapped by any one country's decisions. His capital stays embedded in the American security state, earning hundreds of millions of dollars a quarter, while he himself floats free across 4 passports. This is a portfolio mentality applied to the one thing most people never imagined could be diversified: their nationality itself.
Okay, so let's not forget about Peter Thiel Secret Society. It came out, I believe it was last week or the week before last. Peter Thiel's Secret Society was supposed to be getting together and meeting. And there were quite a few names of distinction that were supposed to meet with Peter Thiel's Secret Society. People like Senator Cory Booker, your Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Yes, they were supposed to be meeting with Peter Thiel. A list of the attendees got out. And let's see the latest on Peter Thiel's secret society. Oh, I had to subscribe. Jared Kushner, the guy from Third Rock from the Sun. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. Cory Booker, what are you doing meeting with Peter Thiel? How Peter Thiel's secret society got booted from an Irish estate. A week of backlash from Irish politicians following dialogues, data leak, culminated in a 5-star estate canceling the conference. Y'all remember this? Let me see if I can. Dialogue, the private investigation-only organization founded by Peter Thiel and Aaron Hoffman, was headed to the Irish countryside for its secretive August retreat until internet sleuths revealed key details about its guests and itinerary. Now, Vanity Fair can confirm the 5-star hotel where the conference was scheduled to take place has canceled the event in response to backlash. This story is for subscribers only. Well, I'm not a subscriber, so let me find another place where I can read this story. Let me see. Let me see that wire. Let's go to Wired. Let me share. Do you guys remember this story? Now, Peter Thiel made sure he hightailed it out of California. A multi-billionaire who's getting all of this money from defense contracts, your tax dollars. But God forbid he have to pay a wealth tax. So he made sure he got the hell out of California before the 1st of January 2026. You know, he believes that the Antichrist, and many people believe that he's the Antichrist. He believes that the Antichrist is going to take over the country and all of this other weird ass shit. I've been talking about Peter Thiel for quite a while now. Leak exposed members of Peter Thiel's secretive dialogue society. More than 200 of the world's elite registered for the retreat, whose agenda runs from panels on cult building and sex to prepping for World War III. An associated app offers matchmaking. A trove of internal records from a secret society for powerful figures in U.S. politics, finance, and tech was left exposed online, Wired has confirmed, naming participants in its event and revealing sensitive personal details they were assured would stay private. The group, called Dialogue, is a private, invitation-only organization co-founded in 2006 by the billionaire tech investor Peter Thiel. It convenes U.S. officials, foreign government figures, and Silicon Valley's executives at off-the-record annual retreats. Dialogue has spent 2 decades declining to disclose its members. A directory in the website code was first revealed by the Swiss hacktivist Maya Arson Crime View. known for exposing the U.S. government's no-fly list and breaching the surveillance camera company Verkada. CrimeView tells Wired the directory surfaced via an anonymous tip. Wired independently verified its contents. Okay. A source separately provided Wire with the registration list for Dialogue's 2026 retreat, which names 222 people and records and records what the list describes as each registrant's membership status and the attendees type, including active member and guests. The retreat is scheduled for August 12th through 16th at a venue near Dublin, Ireland. Now we know that it was a castle, and now we know that the council has canceled the reservation. The same data lays out a program of off-the-record sessions, including Money Does Buy Happiness. Money Does, Buy Happiness. Bring Back Nuclear, Navigating World War III, Battlefield Technologies, and How's Your Sex Life. Other talks include Build a Cult, moderated by the founder of the Christian networking site Pray.com, and Build a Party, run by former White House national security official. Oh my God. Together alongside the mundane fare of typical thought leadership conference, the documents show an extraordinary convergence of power. The registration records list General Axlis Gingrich, NATO's Supreme Allied Commander, Europe, and the head of U.S. European Command, who took the post in July 2025 and is recorded on the leaked list as having attended dialogue gathering since 2021. The website directly names sitting Trump administration officials, 2 U.S. senators, 6 members of the PayPal mafia, a former Middle East chief of intelligence, and a sitting ambassador to the United States, along with the founders and directors of many of the country's largest surveillance data brokers and advertising data companies. So, if you guys didn't know about that, yes, this is what Peter Thiel is up to, and this is what they're doing, and this is what the rich folks have time to do, setting up for our demise. So, is there anything else that I wanted to talk to you about? Let me see if there's anything else. I think that's it. I think that's all. We're back at war. The war had never really stopped. It was just some bullshit pause. What is his name? Graham Plattner has been accused of taking the coochie from one of his former girlfriends. He doesn't know if he's going to, as it were, pull out again. If he's going to pull out of the race. Everybody can easily look over these white men who have been accused of stealing a piece of coochie. We have one in the White House who has been tried and convicted of inappropriately absconding with a piece of coochie. So, No one had much to say. Oh, well, he was young when he got the Nazi tattoo. Oh, well, yeah, I'm concerned. I have concerns, even though I want that old bitch out of Congress. I have concerns. I have concerns as well. But no one have concerns when people have Nazi tattoos, because they'd be like, hey, well, oh, he's okay. It just means he hate black people. We just have to you make sure that you understand that he didn't mean that towards Jewish people. It's okay. He just that Nazi tattoo just meant his disdains toward blacks. So he can be easily forgiven. Now, speaking of black people, are you hear about that young black guy in Mississippi that went missing? And now, this is what I found very peculiar about this whole story. He went out on a boat with friends on the 4th of July. But strangely enough, he didn't come back home from the boating trip with his quote unquote friends on the day they came back home in the afternoon, and they were able to give his mother his cell phone in the afternoon about 4 p.m. I believe they said. And he didn't come home with them. And I didn't hear much about the reasoning that was given that he did not come home with his alleged friends on the 4th of July. This is a young 18-year-old black child who came from and why is it necessary for them to say that his parents lived together as a married couple in a two-parent household, but they made sure that you understood that this was a two-parent household that he came from, and he had a great upbringing, as if he lived with a single mother or a single father, that means that something should have been expected to have happened to him. But that's neither here nor there. But they don't tell you what type of upbringing and what type of household his friends that he went out with, what type of family homes did these white friends that this one black single only black 18-year-old go out with. He had all these 3 white friends, his best friends, and his friends that he was going out with on the 4th of July. Now, he did not come back with them. He was nowhere to be found the next day. But then the following morning, his body washed up. They were selling to some island, in Mississippi, no less. They were from Mississippi. They went to celebrate the 4th of July on some island off of the Mississippi coast. And 2 days later, his body washed up there in the mornings, about 8 something in the morning. Now, it is reported that his friends came home about 4:30 on the 4th of July, and they told his parents that they told him, "Come on, get in the boat." But it's not clear why he didn't get back in the boat. Now, they weren't the only boat. There were plenty of kids out there on plenty of boats. So this was plenty of people. And then there was something about some Karen, some little white girl that he was trying to talk to. So I guess this black kid surrounded by all of these white children in Mississippi, I guess he thought that everybody, I'm accepted by everybody in Mississippi. My black ass is accepted by everybody in Mississippi. It is so unclear why he was left there and why there is no clear answer of why his alleged friends left this island with him there. But there there is some reports of there being a shouting match, and that he and his friends not they didn't get into a argument with other people. They got in a argument with themselves. They tried to make it clear that there was an argument amongst these four boys who came together. And mysteriously, the black guy got left on the island. So that has been reported. It has been reported by more than one bystander who was on the island. They said no, they were arguing amongst themselves. So now the family has acquired attorney Benjamin Crump to represent them. Let me see if I can pull up a little bit of this story. I saw several different parts of this story, and hey, we'll see what happens. His name was Nolan Wells. Let me pull this up. Let me see if I can pull this up. Let's see what I can give to you. Okay, so let me share this with you.
Reporting live from Hyper's Glove, 5 Plus News, I'm John. As reported on Monday, social media is currently reacting to a now mysterious death of Mississippi teen Nolan Wells. That he would go missing on a remote island on July 4th, in which his body would be found 2 days later on the island shore. At the center of the conversation, many have expressed that race looks to have played a part in the teen's death, given that it appears that Wells was the only black friend amongst a group of white friends whom he traveled to the island by boat with.
Black people, stop going on motherfucking vacation with these white folks. Your white friends call you, say, hey, bud, what's up? Hey, you ain't going on vacation? No. Hell no. Because y'all keep going on them vacations, and they keep coming back home, and we can't find you. You got to tell them white people no right now. Not all of them, but some of them you got to tell them no. I can't swim. Why I'm going out there in the ocean for?
According to reports, the group of friends, along with Nolan, would travel to Horn Island, which is the island that sits about 10 miles from mainland.
Now, it is also has been reported that one of these white young man's mother is some type of judge. So I haven't heard anything about any questioning of these alleged friends, but it has been reported that one of their mothers is a judge. That has been reported. I guess we'll get more information as this case goes along.
Mississippi to celebrate the 4th of July. Now, while there, the teens, along with others, would enjoy the beach's shore and water. At some point during their time there, an altercation has now been said to have taken place just before Wells would go missing around 4 p.m. Now, what has raised many people's concerns are why did Nolan's friends leave without him, and what are the details of the altercation. One user on Facebook who shared that she was actually docked next to the boat Nolan was on would go on to note that the altercation took place amongst the friends, and at some point even on the boat they were on. Now, as mentioned, for many, race can't be overlooked, as some would express their lack of trust when it comes with being the only black person in certain settings, and they feel that Wells' disappearance is another example. Now, as people continue to question Nolan's white friends, whom he went to the island with, his black friends and best friend are now responding, explaining why they weren't with him at the time. On Monday, his best friend, Javon Williams, will join several of their peers at the boat dock where officials look to have brought back Wells' body. There, Williams would speak to local outlets on Herald to give his reaction to the breaking news. According to Williams, he was supposed to be on the same boat with Wells, but it had got filled up and he rode on a different boat. Williams would go on to confirm that he did see Nolan on the island. As soon as we got out there, he told me that he loved me. Williams would also go on to say that he last saw Wells close to 4 p.m. And according to him, along with others, reports seeing Nolan with a girl while amongst their friends. Williams would also go on to share that he would end up leaving his phone with Wells' phone on the same boat in question, but would later retrieve his phone before going home. Now, outside of Williams' response, another friend by the name of Trace Carter would apparently give Nolan a warning to be safe before going to the island. According to Sun Herald, Carter would tell Wells, "Just hit me up when you get back. Just be careful, bro. Watch out for yourself." And in response, Wells will respond with, "I got you. I'll hit you up later." Now, according to that same report, it was also noted that Wells knew how to swim and had took lessons at a YMCA in Ocean Springs, Mississippi, where he lived, raising more concerns for some that foul play may be involved in his death. Back over on social media, Javon would continue reacting to the suspicious death of his friend. Over on TikTok, he would post a tribute to Nolan that read, "For all the times you accepted my calls, text me, checked up on me, hung out with me, laughed with me. I love you, brother." Followed by a response to one user who would comment, "Devastating," in which Javon would say he didn't deserve this shit. Williams would continue his grieving on his Instagram stories with a compilation video of he and Wells. Now, when it comes to the friends Wells would travel to the island with, they have been identified by social media users. However, it does appear that they have decided to remain quiet on their social pages, with each of them having their Instagram pages on private. Now, upon looking over Wells' Instagram page, this was not the first time he would jump on a boat with friends, as he posted previous adventures of himself on a boat with a similar group of people.
And I'm sorry, but the whole, well, I thought he got on another boat. I didn't realize he was missing. Yeah, that's not sitting right with me, because what do you mean you let your friend just get on a random ass fucking boat? And everybody's in the comments like, oh, well, we boat hop. This is normal. Nobody thought to go with him. And if it was 4th of July weekend and people were drinking and you saw that your friend was drinking, may or may not have been drinking, why would you allow him to get on a boat if you weren't with him? And don't get me wrong, I've been on a boat. I know self-service is shit. Most people leave their phone on dry land because, shit be flipping over. But if he was getting on another boat and you knew that there was no other way to contact him, again, why would you not get on the same fucking boat? And it'd be different and all the boats were just docked in one little area and you guys were just swimming and, you saw in and out. But again, this just is not sitting right. And then y'all didn't realize he was missing until it was time for you guys to go home. Like, y'all didn't sit here and think, oh, well, shit, where is he? Where could he have been? Why is he not back yet? We're taking shots and he's not here to take shots with. Where's my boy at? Like, y'all don't sit here and ask these kind of questions. Like, there's a rule. If you came with me, you're leaving with me. Like, I brought you here. I'm taking you home. You guys don't live by that shit.
Nobody knows what happened to Nolan. Nobody remembers what happened. He went into the woods with a girl and we don't know what happened. So why did y'all leave him? Because I need it to be known that the one fact that we got for sure is they didn't report that baby missing until they got back home. They didn't call when they were getting ready to pack up the boat and come back home and realize, hey, we can't find Nolan. We've been looking for him for an hour. Come help us find him. They didn't report it until they got back home.
So the same thing that happened to Nolan Wells almost happened to me. I think I was like 22 years old working at Texas Roadhouse. You know what I mean? Young, silly, forgot a couple of the things that my granddaddy told me when I was growing up. I thought these people were my friends. Another lesson my grandparents taught me when I was younger is that you don't have any friends. You know what I mean? You really do not. Like, my siblings were always my friends, and I learned that. At any rate, I signed up to go on this, little trip with these people. They let us know, okay, so we're going to get up on the bank right here, and then we're going to go see the waterfall. So I'm like, oh, okay, so but what we going to do at the waterfall? You know what I mean? because I'm vibing, but at the same time, I'm not stupid. And they was like, we're just going to look at the, sit there, light a fire, smoke some more, drink some more. And I'm like, oh, okay. So we get to the little spot where we pull up the canoes, we anchor them off and whatnot. And then they tell us, okay, so this little piece of water right here, we got to swim across that to get to the waterfall. So I get halfway through the water and I realize that, and I'm losing my strength slowly but surely. And at this point in time, I am calling out for help. No music is playing at this time. You know what I mean? None. Yeah, everybody was rambunctious, excited, whatever, but you could clearly hear me out there in the woods. It's still daylight. So I am screaming that I can't make it. Somebody please help me. They turn around, several of them look at me, say, you can do it. Come on, let's go. And they continue to walk off. At this point in time, I have already said my prayers and have already decided that I'm going to meet my maker. I scream one more time, I am going to drown, and I went down. I don't know can't remember who was and what just made them decide to change their mind and come back, but one person jumped in that water, grabbed me, pulled me up onto the bank, and mind you, they didn't do anything else after that and continued on their way. As young Black children, the same lesson that I'm sure you're telling all your children now, do not be the only one. And it really doesn't matter how people feel about that, because the concern is preservation of life. So for some reason, God saw fit to not allow me to lose my life that day. And for some reason, God called Nolan home. So I will say that despite what anybody feels about how you feel about the situation, please have that conversation with your children. And that's all I'm going to say. Rest in peace, Nolan Wells, and to his entire family.
According to Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter, who would speak when Wells' body was found, the case will be handled like any other cases, with a thorough investigation.
Number one, give the family space and time. They are still processing this tragic event. And all of Nolan's close friends. I'll assure you that the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, we're looking at this whole case just like we would any other case. And we're going to be as thorough as we can.
Now, as far as Nolan's family, they have set up a GoFundMe for all those wanting to show support at the Wells' sudden passing. An autopsy has been scheduled to be performed today to help provide more answers. Let's talk about them in the comments below. Now that we've heard from Nolan's other friends, does it leave you with more questions? And what should happen next? Reporting live from Hypers Club for Hype Plus News, I'm Janaba.
A Mississippi family is trying to cope with a heartbreaking update from volunteers searching for a missing teen. Searchers believe they found the body of 18-year-old Nolan Xavier Wells after he headed out on a boat trip with friends for July 4th and never came back. What happened out there on the water? Why was Nolan the only member of his friend group who didn't return to shore? And that a lot of people spend out on the water all across the United States, from beach days along the Atlantic to boat days on the lake. It's supposed to be a boat. This is according to the National Park Service, so limited accessibility, right? Now, according to family members and the Jackson County, Mississippi Sheriff's Office, 18-year-old Nolan Wells went to Horn Island with several friends on Saturday.
Notice how on the national news, they have blacked out the faces of these white boys.
This young, fit wide receiver for the Southwest Mississippi Community College football team was last seen at around 3 p.m. that day. New York Post reported that he was, quote, talking to a girl on the north end of Horn Island. When he was reported missing, multiple agencies jumped into action. The United Cajun Navy, their incident commander, Josh Gill, posted about the search on Facebook over the weekend.
About 6'1", 180 pounds, was last seen on that north end of Horn Island. Guys, he hasn't been found. Okay, he was last talking to a girl on that north end. He went out to Horn Island with some buddies yesterday out on a boat. He's not been heard from in close to 24 hours. So guys, if you're out there fishing, if you're out there, jet skiing, doing whatever you guys are doing, keep your eyes out for Nolan.
Now, I'm going to be speaking with the Cajun Navy's Vice President, Brian Trasher, in just a moment. I want to get a better sense of what the search was like because he was actively searching for Nolan when it's believed Nolan's body was found. Nolan's mom, Christine, got a hold of these photos that Nolan had apparently taken with friends aboard a boat the day that he went missing. She flooded social media with these photos, asking for anyone with information to get in touch with authorities. And it's unclear so far what Nolan's friends told law enforcement, told authorities when they reported they couldn't find him. But according to the sheriff's office, it was a park ranger that spotted a body at around 8:45 a.m. Monday morning. Authorities haven't officially released an identity. They're apparently still waiting for DNA test results. But media outlet WAPT in Jackson reported that the coroner said there's no reason to believe it's not Nolan. According to TMZ, the body was in the water near the northwest end of the island. WAPT also reports that an autopsy is planned for today, Tuesday, and we could learn a lot more once those results are released, but that could potentially be weeks from now. In the meantime, his family is just trying to come to grips with the fact that this happened, that this young man, a college sophomore known for showing off his skills in the football field with his whole life ahead of him, is now dead. Died during what was just supposed to be a day out on the water. And Christine confirmed this heartbreaking development in a Facebook post. Quote, I want to thank our family, friends, community, United Cajun Navy, local law enforcement, and everyone involved for all the love, support, resources over the last few days. His father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. Heartbroken for my sweet son, who is always willing to cheer and uplift others. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. I ask that you please give me and my family time to grieve. Southwest Mississippi Community College's president also released a statement saying, quote, the entire Southwest family is heartbroken as we mourn the tragic loss of Nolan Wells. Nolan was an exemplary student, athlete, friend, and teammate. We remember Nolan as a well-respected young man who was very popular among friends, faculty, and staff. We love Nolan, and he will be greatly missed in many ways. Our continued prayers will be with the Wells family now and in the days to come. At first, Christine had put out this message on Facebook saying that no GoFundMe had been set up yet, and that any pages that were set up, it was a scam. Unfortunately, we've seen this before in other cases, someone taking advantage of what is already a tragic situation. But since then, a friend did set up an official fundraiser. We're going to put a link to it in the episode notes if you want to contribute, donate, support in some way. And according to the GoFundMe page, quote, funds raised will be used for funeral and memorial expenses, celebration of life services, and any additional costs associated with honoring Nolan's memory. Any remaining funds will help support the family as they navigate the difficult days ahead. How did we get here? What?
Okay, so these links are in the description box. Rest in peace, Nolan. I'm sure there will be a lot more to come in this case, unfortunately. So I hope you guys have a great. Let me make sure there's no more breaking news that I am unaware of before I leave. There's always sometimes some breaking news that let me see. Let me see what's going on here. Hold on 1 second. Hold on one second. Hold on. That's okay. This morning, we started talking about Mitch McConnell. If he has not, they're asking for proof of life of Mitch McConnell because if he is not amongst the living, amongst the conscious, amongst the brain alive, the governor of Kentucky will be able to appoint a senator in his seat. And some people are saying that he could even appoint Thomas Massey. Wouldn't that be a kicker? Let me share this with you.
This morning, the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, has sent an urgent letter to Mitch McConnell's office demanding a status update on Mitch McConnell's health. The problem is Kentucky residents who rely on having a senator working for them, they don't know whether or not the senator is even fully lucid. There have been reports that McConnell spoke with various Republican senators, but not a single picture or video of McConnell has emerged in weeks. And now the governor of Kentucky is saying over the last several weeks, Kentuckians have grown increasingly concerned about the current state of your health and well-being and ability to hold office in the United States Senate. As governor, I request that you fully update Kentuckians regarding the current status of your health. As public office holders, we have made a commitment to our constituents to do our best to represent them and to always be transparent. I believe this requires clear communication about one's ability to serve. We wish you a safe and speedy recovery. McConnell's office has not responded yet, but even Republicans right now internally, according to The Guardian, are growing in terms of angst. A rebellion is growing right now inside the Senate over the lack of transparency on McConnell's health. Spread the word, follow for more. This morning, the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, has sent an urgent letter to Mitch McConnell's office demanding a status update on Mitch McConnell's.
So you can find that in my description box under the caption, "Where's Waldo?" They need a proof of life that Mitch McConnell is amongst the living because it's doubtful at this point. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on one second. I thought there was... Yes, there was something.
This morning, the governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, has sent an urgent letter.
There was something I wanted to share. This is what I wanted to share.
Reporting live from MItch Club, Fight Plus News, I'm John Abba.
Black people have got to stop hanging out with groups of white people.
Breaking news coming out of Mississippi. It has now been confirmed that a young man who went missing on July 4th while partying with friends on an island has been confirmed to be 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Around 2 p.m. today, Wells' mother would confirm the unfortunate news with a post on her Facebook account. I want to thank our family, friends, community, United Occasion Navy, local law enforcement, and everyone involved for all the love, support, resources over the last few days. His father, our family, friends, and I are absolutely devastated. I'm heartbroken for my sweet son, who was always willing to cheer and uplift others. Nolan was a special soul. God took his time creating our son. I ask that you please give me and my family time to grieve. Now, for those who haven't been following, the story starts on July 4th on an island in Mississippi called Horn Island, where a group of teens and young adults look to have hung out on the remote island's beachfront a part of the day. So he's been the only black person in his friend group. D.L. Hughley would take to a social media page to share an update on Nolan's body being found before it was identified. And he would sound off by zeroing in on Nolan's friends, who, according to reports, have not provided any key information. Hughley would go on to say, "They don't remember anything, fuck out of here. And why are they not in custody?" Now, as mentioned, it is unclear as to what took place at the time, but many Black users would take to social media and express their reaction and speculation to the news.
My mama always told me, if you the only birthday candle at the birthday party, you not there for the birthday party, you there to be depressing. Huh? Nolan Wells and this whole entire thing down there in Mississippi look fishy. One of the boys' mama is a judge down there. Don't nobody know what happened.
We have to stop putting our kids in these sporting events, in these schools, in these environments where they are the anomaly. We have to stop doing it. Okay, you want your child to have the best education, the best experiences, the best everything. Yes, but they also need to be around their own culture. They need to.
Black people have got to stop hanging out with groups of white people. And I mean that. If you're gonna be the only black person in that group, go home. Go home. Because these days, you just can't trust white people anymore. Obviously. It happens time and time and time again. You see one black person hanging out with their group of white friends, and they're like, "Oh, I've known these guys for forever. We grew up with them. I'm the only black person in the high school," or something like that. Especially down here in the South, okay? Down here in the South. Obviously, we realize that these pieces of crap, the white people, will turn on you. They will turn on you quick.
And I'm sorry, but the whole, well, I thought he got on another boat. I didn't realize he was missing. Yeah, that's not sitting right with me, because what do you mean?
This link is in my description box. I concur. I concur. I concur.
People, and the black boy is the only one that goes missing or ends up dead. This has happened so many times over the course of a decade. Black people will be the only ones in the room or on a boat with white people, and they always somehow seem to end up dead or in the water.
Or on a sleepover at your friend's house, and you wound up at the bottom of the patio, and they don't know how you wound up dead in your pajamas at the bottom of the two-story patio. You remember that black woman who did a sleepover with her friends?
And to the people, it's always the white people who do this shit. They want black people to be oblivious to the lynchings and the killings and the racism that happens to black people. They always want us to be oblivious and not make it a race thing when it is clear as day that it is always going to be a race thing. That boy was killed by those white people. The only issue is that living in this country that we live in, it's going to be hard for them to be prosecuted.
So let me get this right. Nolan Wells, an 18-year-old kid, goes missing at Horn Lake. And all y'all want to talk about is how, oh man, you're the black kid, don't go out with nothing but whites. Y'all somehow turn this incident into a racism controversy. Yet again, y'all have sick, disgusting comments in every comment section, while this mother and this father and these friends that went out on this boat are losing their shit because this boy's missing. Yet y'all want to stay in the comment section and talk about, oh man, he should have knew better. He shouldn't have done that. Why? Because he grew up with them his entire life? They're best friends? It really triggers me how this world is just totally incompetent to just sit there and look. Every time there's a black person, a white person involved in something or something happens, it strictly goes to racism. That's your number one output right now. While a mother and father are sitting at home wondering what happened to their child.
Now, as many continue to await details of what took place that day, one Facebook user who...
The mother and father ain't wondering that their child is dead. The mother and father ain't wondering why it's strange that their black child is dead.
Who was on the island at the time, would post a video of what appears to be Nolan on shore, reportedly after a large altercation took place around 4 p.m. on July 4th. For her caption, she would go on the right, taken at 4:01 p.m. north side, west tip, where we were parked right next to the boat Nolan was allegedly on. Hope this helps in any way. This was immediately after the big fight that broke out on the shore. I'm not sure if this is Nolan, but it could be. Anyone that can slow down videos, please go through it as well. Now, as of this writing, a DNA test has been conducted to double confirm that the body is that of Wells. Let's talk about them in the comments below. If you're a parent, do you interfere or vet your children's friends before they...
Okay, that's it. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a great remainder of your day. There is nothing else that I can add to this. Stay woke. This is why they don't want you to be woke. But you definitely need to stay woke. All right, guys. Have a great remainder of your day. Let's be real clear. The parents could have, or they could not have known those other parents. They could or could not have known the other parents, because let's be real clear. The actual best friend was the young black boy. The best friend, while you listening to that tatted up cracker talking about these were his best friends. No, the actual best friend was the black boy. You have a great day as well. I appreciate you coming over. So everybody's talking out of hand. I just know that they're in Mississippi. That's what I know. I know that they're in Mississippi. I know that people need to stay close to people who relate to them. I know that people prey on other people. I know that people always are trying to prey on other people, especially if they feel that you are or you should be less than, and if there's any type of competition. They're out there with all of these girls in their little bikinis and all of this type of. It takes very little to bruise an ego and spar up competition in these young, immature male egos. Who knows what happens? So I'm just gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna look at all the look at all the crime that happens in black communities when blacks are around each other. Just because somebody ego gets bruised. So let's keep it a buck. Crime happens when there's an opportunity for crime. There's no black on black crime. Crime is an act of opportunity. Do you think that these people who actually felt that it was okay to leave this man out on this island, and they have no good answers as of yet? There's no good answers as of yet. This is strange. This is crazy. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a fabulous day. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Make sure you go out and get you a make sure you go out and get a generator, a solar powered generator. Make sure you get something to collect you some fresh drinking water, something that is not a clear plastic container, because that can allow your water to get contaminated. Prepare yourself for some hard times. It never hurts to prepare yourself for hard times. You never know when you're going to get some type of storm, some type of tornado, some type of hurricane. It is always good to be prepared for hard times. And make sure you have a first aid kit. Make sure you have something for your personal protection. Make sure that you take care of yourself. Because America may be in for some hard times. Truth be told. All right, guys. I'll see you guys on Wednesday, and thank you for dropping by. Hit the like button on your way out. I'll see you on Wednesday, unless there is some breaking news on tomorrow. Thank you. I appreciate you for stopping by. Bye-bye.